This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 91 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda and I'm your host. In this episode, I'll give you a short update on what I've been knitting. I'm revisiting a collaboration with Bev Johnson, BooKnits, that I did at the end or third part of last year. That's kind of got lost in the mayhem of everything else that was going at that point. So I'm revisiting that, especially with the summer months coming up. And then in the Layercake section of the podcast, I am focusing on the pre-order that is running until Monday. That is Monday the 30th of April, the end of Monday the 30th of April, for new colors of our Smocks and Tabards. After the 30th of April, the prices will go back to their normal prices, but until then, if you place an order, you'll get a production discount, because we'll do a production run in the week following the pre-order and then send out your Smocks and Tabard orders by the middle of May latest. So, without further ado, let's dive into the knitting. Right, knitting. I've been working monogamously on my cardigan. The decision after taking it with me to Wonderwool this past week and having some conversations with Sharon from 5 Moons Yarns and Zoe, who was at Wonderwool as well, with us on the stand, who's making absolutely wonderful project bags that you may have seen me feature in the past, but also now has decided to start a range of candles, fragrance candles. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I get distracted. More about Zoe's candles later, not today, but in a later episode. So, talking with Sharon and Zoe, who is a wonderful tech editor at Wonderwool, the decision is final. Considering that this yarn is discontinued, we know for a fact that we already have some colors that are very close to these in the current range of Yak Blend II. Ooh. Goodness me. Wonderfully prepared as always. So here, for example, is the color Mare, which is really close to the teal stripe. And then, of course, we've got things like Bitter Lime, and we have Vampire's Tipple, which could serve beautifully for the cherry color in here. Here are Mare and the teal color of Malabrigo Finito, which is what this is. So the bottom line is, because of the running length of this yarn, the Yak Blend II, being the same as the Malabrigo Finito, I believe that I'll be able to replicate the gauge very easily. I'm going to test that, of course, but more importantly, we can replicate the colors quite easily, because Sharon already does the multicoloreds in her range of this same yarn. So between the two ranges of my Yak Blend II and her Chandra 4-ply, we'll be able to come up with very similar colorways to this one and the first cardigan that I already knitted. So this is going to be a pattern. I'm going to ask Zoe to grade it into the 4 sizes that pretty much mirror the Layercake sizes. So in terms of fit and ease, they'll end up being targeted at the same kind of Layercake size brackets, if you like. So hopefully that will work. It's going to be a steeked cardigan, like you can see a little bit here. So it's being knitted in the round top down yoked version like you see here, slowly increasing and then separating the sleeves. And the bit in the front is where you change color, and that of course becomes the steek line once you cut it open. So I will write a version that can be knitted just as a jumper for those of you who are not keen to steek and don't want to go there, then by just omitting the middle section of extra stitches that are there purely for the steek, it could just be a round-necked little jumper. So as you can see, not as much progress as I would have liked, because my goodness, Yarndale was a blast, but so incredibly exhausting. Maybe it's because I'm older, but I'm sure it makes a difference as well that both last year and this year Andrea did not come along to the show, so when it came to especially handling all the layer cake, I was doing a lot of that by myself. Sharon and Zoe were fabulous helps, so that was fantastic to have them on the stand, to have a big stand, all three of us together. We really enjoyed that last year, and it worked again really well this year. But still, then driving back this past Monday from the show and trying to reorganize the studio, goodness me, it was really clear that I really needed some extra space to do my video recordings. I record more rather than less, and I want to be able to change backgrounds and things like that. And there just wasn't enough space to do that. I had made some vain attempts just before Wonderwool, and that didn't work well at all. So I really needed to reorganize that space. So when I came back on Monday with the van, I left it for a couple of hours and rearranged the space in the studio first, which meant emptying bookcases, dragging bookcases, filling them again, etc., to maximize the floor space in the same room where a layer cake is normally being kept. Now, the layer cake is kept on rails with wheels, so they can be moved around, and I have now created a setup where I have a bit more flexible use of the space than I did before. So hopefully moving forward that will help, but it meant that I didn't finish unloading and rehanging all the layer cakes until like 7 o'clock at night on Monday. And I've been kind of on the back foot trying to recover from that weekend ever since. It was so worth it again though. Wonderwool was lovely. It was also very busy though, so unlike last year when I found the time to have a proper walk around the show, I was not able to do that this year at all. What I do have are some lovely photographs from both the build-up of the stand as well as the finished stand. I will show those in a little slideshow in between this section and before layer cake starts. So I apologize if you were hoping for a Wonderwool video. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to make one. I was hoping to do that as well, but it just was too busy. So if for those of you who haven't seen last year's Wonderwool walk around, it's worth having a look at that episode. I will put the number down below, and I also did a walk around of the Yarndale show last September. Again, I'll list the episode number down here. If you have not seen those, then I encourage you to have a look at those. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a Wonderwool walk around this year. So, just highlighting before I move on the colours separately that this cardigan is knitted out of. Like I said, those top three colours, this could be bitter lime, this could be mare, this could be vampire tipple in the existing Yak Blend II. I don't know, I should check actually what the colorway is that I'm pretty sure Sharon already has in her Chandra 4-ply, and then I will ask her to dye a speckle. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, it just needs to be light colors in order to form a nice backdrop for the little cherries that seem to be scattered all over the cardigan. And maybe I'm going to call it something cherry related, although I would like the pattern to also cover the different colorway that I knitted before this one. I'll show you a photograph of it here just to remind you of what that first one looks like. It's got stripes. It doesn't have these little guys scattered throughout, so it doesn't have color work. It just has little bubbles at the top, but the bubbles contrast well, and at the seam and at the edges of the sleeves, but those are not in contrast with the rest of the neckband here. So the rest of that version is just stripes, and I would like to have the pattern cover that as well, because not everybody will be keen to do the color work. It's only 5 rows of color work in total, so it's not a lot, but still, if you prefer not to go there, then there'll be a striped version of the cardigan for you instead. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about today, let me put this away so I won't get completely confused, is Candleford. That was the collaboration that I did with Bev Johnson, BooKnits, last autumn. And what she did was she designed a lace edge that can be attached to the sleeve of a step top, and a lace panel that can be attached to the bottom front of the step top. As you can see, we've gone for big contrast. It's just really to give a good example of like really highlight which bits are knitted, but you could imagine that the knitted parts, the knitted panel and the knitted sleeve attachment would be done in the same color as the step top itself. So that's one of the things that I would like to do. I would like to knit a sample that has the color of the step top matching with the knitting. But the other thing I'd like to do is to take the existed knitted sleeve that I did for the Synergy top and have that with a top section that is just a stocking stitch, and then this lace panel below it, so that for both the Synergy top and the step top there are knitted panels available. So I will talk a little bit more about the second half of Candleford in the Layercake section, because Candleford is a two-pronged project. It has these panels to attach to a Layercake garment, but it also includes a shawl. And there's 2 versions of the shawl. I'll talk more about it in Layercake. So if panels and attaching panels to a garment is not your bag, but you like to knit, and especially knit lace, and especially knit lace in linen, then that's something to look out for in the Layercake section. Now, this shawl, strictly spoken, doesn't have to be knitted in linen, but of course with summer coming, if you've never knitted with linen before, doing a lace project is a really nice way to ease yourself into knitting linen. And this shawl comes either both in completely lace as well as a version with a stocking stitch panel and then lace. So if you're curious, have a look at the Layercake section and hear and see more about what the Candleford shawls look like, or just look them up on the website. I'll list the name down below. It's possible to just order the patterns or pattern and yarn as a kit. It's up to you, but more about that on the website and more about that in the Layercake section. So that's it for my knitting this time. I hope that by next episode I will have made substantial progress on this cardigan. Definitely the body, but hopefully even the sleeves. I'll try and put my back into it in the next 2 weeks. And that's it for now though on the knitting. I hope you look forward to Layercake and enjoy. So here we are with the new Layercake Smock and Tabard colours. I only have one of each. So I've got a smock in the bitter. I've got a smock in the blood orange, but then I don't have a tabard in the blood orange, and I have a tabard in teal sky, but then I won't have a smock in teal sky. The bottom line is you'll see one of each of the colors combined with some other layer cakes, and with themselves, as you can see here, so you get a good impression of all the colors, and as well as both of the shapes. The smocks and the tabards are old workhorse, our Layercake workhorse in the collection. That's what it all started with in 2011, will you believe it? Anyway, what I'm wearing is the blood orange smock, and I have teamed it with a blood orange tulip dress, a long one, and I just want to show you how good it looks when you wear two layer cakes together of different shape that are made in the same color fabric. Of course, you can emphasize shapes with contrast, but they really complement each other as well, and it's still very different from wearing the dress on its own when you put a smock or tabard over the top of it, even if it's in the same color. Now, the other thing, of course, that happens is that you then have an extra layer, and that, of course, is warmer. You can then take that off as it gets warmer out, etc. So it's just something to keep in mind as an alternative to contrasting colors. I will show you complementary outfits like this for each of the 5 new colors in the smocks and tabards, and I'll play around with them to contrast a bit as well. So what I'm wearing this with is one of the love tops from the Cocoon range, so the stretchy love tops in the raspberry color, which of course is very close to the dark magenta color that is in the cross weave of the blood orange. So they go really well together. This is a size 2 of the love top. I've got a size 2 long of the tulip dress and a size 2 of the smock. So I'm also going to show you, just to remind you, that the smocks and the tabards, the armholes of those are lower and bigger than those of the corresponding size of the dress. There's about 1.5 inches difference. That is to make it easier to wear the dress in the summertime with just a cami or a bra or a bralette underneath, rather than more of a top, unless of course you prefer to cover your arms, although you can do that with shawls, etc. as well. So that's why the armholes are a bit smaller of the tulip dresses. But the thing to keep in mind is that if the smocks and tabards that you wear are really snug on you in the size that you wear them in, then you might find that the corresponding size in the tulip dress ends up being a bit too tight. Because remember, the idea with the smocks and tabards are that you wear them quite roomy and loose in order to wear them over the top of other garments. So the corresponding measurements of the tulip dresses are ever so slightly more snug. So keep that in mind if you already have a smock or a tabard in, for example, a size 1 or a size 2, and that's quite neat on you, then you may have to go a size up for that specific dress. With the love dresses, because of the dolman sleeves, and same with the love tops, it's the other way around. You can size down if you want to for a snug fit, but with the tulip dresses, don't ever size down because they'll catch you out. Okay, on to the next outfit. Swapped out the dress for some magenta baggies. So one of my favorite combinations, red and orange and pink together in one outfit. But of course, they're the kind of red and pink and orange that go well together. And the orange, of course, is made up of a really bright light orange together with the magenta, which is the pink in my trousers. I can then, of course, bring the pink back if I want to or if orange or that red is not a great color on me and pink is, by bringing an accessory around at the top of my outfit. So just a little, I'm wearing a bigger shawl here as a little scarfy, but you know, it perfectly illustrates the point, bringing the pink back at the top of the outfit one way or another ends up pulling everything together, and it puts that pink right next to my face, with, if it's a good color for me, of course enhances the whole outfit as well, because it makes me look more healthy. So to tell you a little bit more about this shawl, it's quite a while ago that I introduced it already, last autumn. This is the Candleford shawl by BooKnits. This is the version that is lace all over. There's also a version with a stocking stitch panel in the middle and then followed by a lace border. There are also instructions for adding beads into the shawl, either all over or just in the lace panel at the bottom. BooKnits was inspired by Layercake when she designed this shawl. It's a wonderful, one of her wonderful specialty lace patterns, and she designed the shawl to accompany lace panels that can be sewn into the Synergy top. I spoke about the Synergy top in the first part of the video already, snuck it into the knitting section just to highlight it once again, because I really don't believe I have done the design much justice. It came out just before Yarndale last autumn, and in the malaise of everything and the busyness, I believe it's gotten lost a little bit. So a little bit more of a highlight. I love the shawl. I think it really does complement Layercake very well, and as I said, a lovely complement if it brings back a color that works for you, or color that's only at the bottom of your outfit and bringing it back at the top. So it's also a wonderful project to knit in summer, made out of linen like it's been knitted here, as well as the black one that I showed you in the first part of the program. Lovely summer knit. So and also not very expensive at all, of course, because the linen is not very high in price, and of course it stays cool in summer. So I won't keep repeating myself, but here you go. Lovely idea. The point being that you bring back the color that's at the bottom of your outfit at the top, if it's a color that you wear really particularly well. So on to the second color in the Smock and Tabard lineup. Here we go. Teal Sky Tabard. Size 2. I kept the rest of the outfit the same, so it's a long, large set of baggies in the magenta and that same raspberry cocoon love top. Of course, I could choose to go for the shorter baggies. If I go for the regular length baggies, they'll be more like this on me. I think there's about 4 inches difference. So if I pull this up to my bra band, then you get the idea and the look of a cropped set of baggies. That's something that you could do, of course. If you normally wear the regular length baggies and those are full length on you, and you think, well, it's not very fair, I don't get to wear cropped baggies because there isn't a shorter length, then take your existing baggies and rather than wearing them on your waist, pull them up to just below the bust line. So basically the bottom of your bra band. You'll be amazed at how well they stay in place because they just form a princess line, and because the elastic band, they just stick around where your rib cage is, and you then create a nice summery cropped look. So even if you're out and about already and you were planning to wear your baggies full length, but it ends up being really warm, pull them up like this and you'll be surprised at how cooling it is to just be able to air your ankles when it gets warm out. So idea for summertime. Still, the point here was to show these bright colors together and to show how fun they look together. I can then create a center point with adding a nice, either a shawl again or a nice a piece of jewelry which can form a focal point in the middle of the outfit. If you think, well, this is all right, but really the red and the pink and then something else together, altogether different, well, of course I could keep the baggies and the tabard and then just calm things down a little bit with a different color top. Let me show you. Cool, calm and collected at the top with a natural undyed linen love top in the linen this time. This is a size 1 love top, worn with the same size 2 tabard in teal sky and my magenta baggies. So cool, calm and collected and a nice kick at the bottom. It's a great way of wearing a color like magenta if you find that too loud to dominate the outfit, or if it's a color that you're not confident suits you particularly well when worn close to your face. This is your solution. You wear a color like that at the bottom half of your outfit. It still allows you to play with accessories, a nice same colored bracelet, for example, or a necklace, or just your lipstick. It's you know, a color that is not then dominating the entire outfit, but it's still very present. If you prefer to stay more on the same side of the spectrum and not work with such sharp contrasts, then I'll show you another pair of baggies that would go very well with the rest of this outfit and pulls it closer into the blue, green, teal side of the spectrum. Here it comes. Soft colors, more muted, beautifully coordinated. This is the teal herringbone that we introduced last year. We have some baggies left in it. We have a little bit more fabric left in it. So if you really like, well, I really do actually. If you really like the combination of teal sky with the teal herringbone, then this is a match made in heaven for you. And of course you can choose to order them either separately or together. So long, large baggies in teal, which I could pull up again to show you a cropped version, but you get the idea. So the colors that these two have in common are the teal in the herringbone and the teal in this cross weave. But in this cross weave, it's teamed with a pale blue. Of course, in the herringbone, it's teamed with the undyed linen, and that undyed linen then comes back in the top. Hence the nice color coordination, the soft and subtle pulling together of these colors, because the different colors feature in the different elements that make up the whole outfit. So, of course, we can soften this down even further. And like I said, I was trying to go more monotone. I don't have this exact, it's a bit of a new color, this exact color in the collection, but by wearing it like this with the teal herringbone, we're getting very close. I'm going to change the teal herringbone though to show that depending on what colors you wear it with, you can give a softer blue like this a proper leading role in your outfit. I'll show you how. This is a pair of the cocoon baggies in the grey color, which as you can see is almost identical to the undyed grey beige, the greige of undyed linen. And as such, it forms a really nice monochrome and very subtle backdrop to this teal sky, and creates a really nice canvas to make that teal sky color pop, even though it's not a particularly bright color. This also brings me back to repeating once again that this is a linen love top, but it could have been one of the cocoon tops. I could have been cocooning at home with my Layercake stretchies on the sofa, doing whatever, then having to pop out and just throw on a smock or tabard. No need to change the rest of the outfit, and this all of a sudden looks like an outfit really fit to take anywhere outside, even though you might find that if it's just a cocoon outfit by itself, it's more of a snuggling at home and a cozy outfit. Just a simple tunic over the top changes the outfit completely. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is that I have, because I was already wearing this top, I chose that pale color as a backdrop for the teal sky, but I could just as easily go the other way. If I go dark gray or black or even the navy blue in the cocoon, then with all those three colors, they form a lovely contrast with the teal sky, and as such turn teal sky into a proper feature color. So of course that whatever you wear with your teal sky smock or tabard doesn't have to be a layer cake, but just keep in mind, if you want it to really pop, then contrast the colors that you are wearing it with. That doesn't have to be a loud color, just a very different color, either much lighter or much darker, for example. So I hope you find that helpful, and a little bit more information about the cocoons. Again, one of the reasons that I did not put any bottom pockets on the cocoon trousers are because they're snugglies to wear at home partially, but also to create a sleeker and more pared back look, and to make it easier to wear them underneath a pair of your linen layer cakes for winter time, especially the summer linens. If you find them too cool to wear by themselves, then pop a pair of the cocoon baggies underneath and you'll be snug as a bug throughout winter. Well, here we are. This was color number 2. On to color number 3. And here it is, Mist. Tabard Mist, size 2. Worn with the undyed love top and the grey cocoon baggies. Super neutral outfit without it being pale or boring. One of the lovely character traits of the undyed linen is that because of its color, it's not particularly warm or cool as a color, so it's super neutral and can be worn by virtually everyone on the color spectrum, no matter what your skin tone, whether you're more into the roses or into the olives and have either pink or yellow undertones in your skin tone, or are really dark colored. This is a beautiful color to wear for everyone. That goes for the undyed as well as for the mist. When I first got the color in, I called it New Steel. And I will explain that a little bit, because it kind of replaces steel. Steel was a color that was woven with undyed linen and black. And as such, there was quite a big contrast within the fabric. This is undyed linen with dark gray, the same dark gray that is in charcoal. Charcoal is black with dark gray. So that takes it another step darker. But by dropping the black out of steel and replacing it with a dark gray, we get a much softer, much more ethereal color without the very sharp contrasts in the fabric. And I really fancied that moving forward. So I've done that with some other colors, and this is the first one together with Fig that we've introduced. Fig is purple and dark gray. It'll come next, and of course, because they've got the dark gray in common, they work beautifully together. So shown it here though, super neutral, and again you can contrast, of course, by wearing it with black, for example, or with the slate colorway if you're thinking of cocoons. The slate cocoon against the mist is beautiful, because the dark grey in mist is virtually identical to the dark grey that is the slate. So enough waxing lyrical about mist though. Let me show it with some more contrast. And I was mentioning Fig already, so I'll grab some Fig to show you together with mist. Here is our panel skirt, our full length skirt in the long large size. Again, it comes in 2 sizes and 2 lengths. This is the long length, which is full length on me. Then we have the regular length as well, and then we have large and small. And within those sizes, you can then expand the skirt a little bit by letting out this walking pleat, which is folded in and secured with ties and bows. You can widen it both at the waist as well as around the hips. So you get a good idea here of what fig looks like together with mist. I kept the top pale because it's one particular choice of look, of course, but I can make the top that I'm wearing underneath the mist darker. So I was mentioning slate, for example, so I'll grab a slate cocoon top so that you can see that same combination that I did with the teal sky and then having the teal herringbone and the undyed linen at the top, bringing those colors together. That's what slate really does as well, because of course fig has the dark gray, mist has the dark gray, and slate is a dark gray. I'll show you. Slate, mist, fig. Beautiful, understated, interesting colors, nicely coordinated, and with lots of options to move it in different directions to style and color it differently. Mist is, oh, I love mist. It's just something else. And Andrea tells me that it's wonderful to sew as well, for somehow it seems softer than the other colors. It must have something to do with the dyes and the effect that the dyes have. But you'd think that if it's got undyed linen in it, then the undyed linen should feel like this, and it doesn't. So we don't know what it is. It's been woven together with colors like fig, but it just gives, it has a different hand somehow. Anyway, enough waxing lyrical about fig. About mist, let me show you some more fig. Fig smock, fig skirt. Of course we do fig baggies as well if you prefer baggies, but here's the panel skirt with a fig smock, and again showing that same colors worn together, and what a beautiful column-like outfit it makes. Although you still have those beautiful rounding lines of the smock and the tulipy shape. So the smocks and tabards I was wearing before were a size 2. This is a size 1, back in a size 1. That's still fine. As you can see, I'm wearing it over the top of a size 1 cocoon. But if I wanted to, I could go up. I could wear a size 2 cocoon. It would still look fine because, of course, these armholes are big enough to accommodate the extra space that there is in the fabric. So, smock at the back with the skirt, smock at the front. And if you think, yeah, I love the fig, but I wouldn't wear it all so dark, then of course you can bring in different colors. Either an accent color, a bright accent color, or lighter, or put a dress in between even. So a wonderful example is the chartreuse. Chartreuse and fig, of course, make magic together. I'll check if I've got a chartreuse dress to put in between, just to show you what I mean with having a bit of chartreuse from a love dress, for example, and then bringing the sleeves at the top. Let me see what I've got. Yay! Found one. Now, if this isn't a little bit of layer cake magic, I don't know what is. Not just these colors together. I mean, chartreuse and fig. Come on. Oh my gosh. Wow. I knew it was good on paper, but I hadn't actually put them together yet. This is wonderful, guys. Anyway, the bit of magic is not purely about the colors, but also about the sizes, because this is a size 2 petite love dress. So the sleeves reach a little bit longer on me. The dress itself reaches slightly longer on me because it is loose on me. And then I've put a size 1 smock over the top. So I've got lots of extra fabric underneath. And does it look stuffed or inappropriately combined? No, it doesn't. And that is what we mean, what I mean with using these low armholes. That entire dolman sleeve, all that extra fabric, all that extra positive ease that this dress has on me can easily be accommodated and cinched in at the same time by a fitted smock. because of those big armholes. And that is exactly what it intends to do when I said you can throw it on over anything. This is the idea. So, love this combination. And of course, I've got a 5th color left. We've had 4 of the 5 colors, and even though I've gone completely off-piste with my chartreuse love dress, it actually works really well with color number 5. Here it comes. Deep Sea. Deep Sea is one of the thinner linens. There's not that much between them, but if you feel a whole garment, then you do feel the difference in weight. Fig and Mist are our heavier linens. Deep Sea, Blood Orange and Teal Sky are our lighter weight linens. So and this is again a size 1 smock, so if the combination of a size 2 dress with the size 1 tunic over the top wouldn't work, then this would be the time you would see it because of this fabric being slightly thinner. But as you can see, it is fine. Size 1 smock, size 2 petite dress, enough dress underneath to peep out to create that contrast. I kept the fig skirt on because it's a wonderful combination, those 3 colors, but I also want to show you again a whole outfit in Deep Sea, and I can do that because of course we recently introduced the baggies in Deep Sea. So I'll swap out the skirt and the dress and wear the baggies instead to have a whole Deep Sea column to finish this week's episode on. So, whoops, all of a sudden it's summer, right? I just wanted to show you the column of Deep Sea, like I mentioned, and by wearing a bralette in like a skin tone, I can get away with showing this underarm area. Although I might find like, it's all far too flabby, these arms, and I need to cover them, but it's really warm outside and I don't want to cover up too much and get really uncomfortable. So instead of a top with sleeves, I could grab a linen shawl rather than something in wool. Now, I mentioned Candleford. This is the Candleford that is a combination of a stocking stitch panel with a lace panel underneath and little beads. Now, little beads happen to be teal in color, so they go beautifully with my dark shoes. This again was spur of the moment decision, but it works. And by wearing a shawl like this, I'm covering the tops of my arms. I don't have to get all self-conscious about them. I don't have to be self-conscious about the big armholes. All of that is covered. And I still have a really nice, cool, summery outfit because, of course, this is loosely knitted, so it breathes. It doesn't hold the heat in. That's one of the things with linen and the way it stands aside from other fabrics. And the reason it gets perceived as a summer fabric, it doesn't hold on to heat. It breathes very easily. So it's cooling. It's a cooling fabric. Having said that, when you wear multiple layers on top of each other, boy, is it still warm and cozy to wear throughout the year. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're inspired by the new colors of Smocks and Tabards. If there's a particular color that you have got your eye on that is not listed anywhere on the website yet, especially one of the new ones, I do apologize. I have to update the My Choice panels with the new colors. I will get to it. I just have too much on my plate. So if you don't see your particular color you love, shoot me a message and we'll see what we can do, of course, as always. Until that time, until next time, I hope I've inspired you. I hope you keep enjoying wearing your layer cakes. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you again soon.